Interviews are a gateway to landing that dream job of yours, and we all know, we both agree that it can be a little bit nerve-wracking, especially because you never know what to expect, even if you've put in your best. If you haven't watched the video that we did on the mistakes that people make before and during the interview, you're going to see it somewhere on the screen. Click on it and watch it before you watch this one, because that's going to provide you with a lot of context. Now, let's delve right into it.
So before we get into it, my name is Noah Ntayo. In the past 3 years alone, we've helped over 1,000 people secure amazing career, especially in tech. And one of the greatest challenge we see is people being able to pass the interview. As you know, interview is gateway to how you secure the amazing job. And it's a daunting process. We've been able to calibrate so many experiences from all the people that we've supported and our own personal experience interviewing for job. So we're going to be sharing now in the list of the series, the last phase, where there are some strategic things you need to do after the interview to help you, whether going forward or securing that opportunity.
That is correct. Now let's dive into the first mistake that people make after they've attended this interview.
So the first one we want to talk about is failing to reflect.
This one's big. It is really big. Most times people go to an interview and it's just like, I've done my best. You just go and do all this stuff and just like start to pray. I mean, praying is really, really good. I highly recommend, but you also need to reflect on what just happened. And the structure that we give for that is, what did I do well? What could I have done differently? Are there any areas of improvement?
Absolutely. And this is a framework from our Scrum framework. If you're familiar with Scrum, Scrum, which is a natural framework. And we found this to be very, very
effective.
Useful. Now, a lot of people actually fail to reflect. They just dwell on their shortcomings alone. Like, I didn't hear, or they just like,
maybe they don't like me.
Yeah, maybe, you know, that was not my job, and that's it. They don't really reflect using a framework. Now, the first thing I want you to do is grab a piece of paper and a pen. Try to reflect. You can record in an ethical manner. You're recording your voice and your performance during that interview, especially if it's a virtual interview. And that has helped a lot of people in the past. We've seen that, you know, if you can send how you've performed to someone to help you review and say, these are things that I could have done better. It's also like a form of ritual. Now, if you don't have that, grab a piece of paper and then think about like your journey, right? What did you do well? List them out. What did you not do well? We say that things you could have done better, right? List few points like, hey, I could have maybe buttressed on the question. They asked me this, I could have given them a different response. Try and think about the question.
Absolutely
and you
important.
need to do it like very, like, not leave it for weeks. You would have forgotten, right? So do it almost immediately after that interview. It's still fresh in memory. And then more importantly, you want to tick down some of the action points that you're going to take as well. It's not useful for you to just list what you did well and then you just forget about
actions.
it.
And some of the actions could be, I didn't actually understand this question that this person said, I haven't heard that question before. It's an opportunity for you to go and learn. In case you encounter that in another interview, you never have to make that mistake again. So reflection is one of the biggest things or biggest favors you can do for yourself post anything in life. If you don't reflect, there's no way you can learn. So please don't be scared of reflecting and thinking about possible things that you could have done differently during an interview. Now, let's move to mistake number 2, which is another very big one. Another mistake that a lot of people make following an interview is not following up. Okay, so sometimes genuinely they are occupied and they are doing a lot of stuff. Just a simple note, just a simple message. Thank you so much for your opportunity the other day. I really look forward to. Thank you so much for the opportunity of attending an interview with XYZ. I was hoping I could reach out to you to understand a bit about the process. So you can leave them, send them a message, of course, acknowledging the moment that you both had together, and also just throwing a subtle question around if there are any updates on your application or if there are any further information required from you. Like, it's that simple. So it's always in the structure. So what we do is most times we play on the defensive. Let me just wait. Let me just wait, right? So you have to sort of like push out there, and that might just have them thank them, because sometimes they are genuinely very busy and they just haven't had enough time to go through the contract or even finalize the contract with you. So it's not always just about maybe they don't want me to come back, or maybe they just don't like me. Just a simple follow-up, whatever the outcome is. One thing we always say, every failure is a redirection.
Absolutely.
With failure comes lessons. With lessons you gain experience. With experience you gain more confidence. So please don't ever feel like it's the end of the world.
Absolutely. And what we said, interviews are learning opportunity for you.
Yeah, they are.
Good for interview, because we also see people who give up and they're like, oh, that last one was hard, or I'm not prepared. I would only go when I'm prepared. And that is also like a very, very bad approach and strategy. Avoidance. You're trying to give up, like, oh, no, I'm not ready at all. And you'll never be 100% ready for an interview, right? So it doesn't now mean you should go to the extreme and give up and just say until
I'm 100%. 1,000 over 1,000.
It's not going to work. And you know, people genuinely play avoidance in like going for interview because of the bad experience. You know, I failed one, I failed two, this is not for me, and you give up. The biggest strength for you is the staying power, but also, like we said, reflecting and trying to make actions. Some of the actions that you can make is basically seeking counsel, right? Whether you do it and then get somebody else to give you an objective, feedback on that, or
on how you fared,
a coach,
what you did,
what you did well, how strategies to help you improve. Sometimes it may be to upskill, right? If you don't have the skill for your job, you don't have it. So even though you're going for interview and going for interview, you're not going to get the job, right? Sometimes you need to learn interview skills. And get better at that, and the interview skill is also a skill you need to get better, because presentation, like we always say,
that's what you're giving to them, right? If they're going to judge you, because interviewers believe Noah is giving me his very best right now. So the very best is poor. They would assume when you come on the job, Jesus Lord, God help them, maybe you're going to do worse. So it's very, very important. Let's dive into the last mistake that people often make after an interview. And this one, and I know it's very tough, we do acknowledge that. This mistake is the fact that a lot of people give up too soon. An example, you may have attended an interview and of course maybe you've gotten an unfortunately we're not proceeding. The next natural reaction is, nah, I'm done. Please, if that happens, it's okay, suck it in one day, but pick yourself back up. Because when you give up too soon, there is no action coming afterwards. I mean, we've heard a lot of students who have attended interviews. The first one, they didn't get what they wanted, and they wanted to give up, but through the support that we provide, you cannot. If you want to give up, we cannot allow you. And they've come back a month after that. That single call that you made changed everything. Look at me now working with South Australian Police. Look at me now working with RACV. If I had given up, I would never have gotten here. So please want to plead with you, do not give up on yourself. If you do that reflection that we mentioned, you try and see what are the things that I could have done differently. Continue to learn. Your time is going to come. But trust me, if you don't have the skills, you don't have the skills, and you would not hire yourself as well.
Absolutely.
If you don't have the skills.
And one quick story that comes to mind is the most extreme case we've seen as Seen Skills, but also a story of resilience. You know, an amazing friend. He went through, I think, more than 20 interviews.
Wow, that was
over like 2 years.
That was tough.
Right? and it was going, you will go for 3-stage interview. Sometime at the end, they're just going to say, oh, we'll go with somebody else. And that's always a big blow, because I remember one time in 2024 December, I shed a tear,
I was
like, oh
really
my
sad,
God.
like, not again.
Now I don't even, I've run out. That's the only time I know I've run out of motivation or words for this person. What else will I say? Like, after this so many disappointment, but it taught me a lesson. If you don't give up, and when he got his job, he got 2 jobs, right? At the same time, like, he's now like, which one, you know? And he, you know, he did one for a while and then left it, and it's just amazing.
That was beautiful.
But I think even I would have given up on that thing.
You may have given up.
I may have given up actually, because like, you know, it's so much disappointment doing that same thing. You know, it will play on your mind like, hey, is this thing really for me? But that story, that experience taught me that if it's big enough for you, if it's aligned with your goal, you should continue to do it. It's gonna happen, maybe tough, but it's eventually gonna happen. As long as you're also improving yourself and getting better, and eventually to be unreasonable for it not to happen.
It would be like, you just have to. So whatever it is, whether you need to get an accountability partner, or you need a mentor or a coach, if you're currently struggling with interviews and perhaps you've attended several interviews and you just don't know what else to do, and you would like to work with us or learn a bit more about other opportunities that you're not yet exploring, feel free to leave us a comment. Feel free to reach out to us on Instagram on the profiles below, and we would definitely be willing to work with you. But
thank you so much. We like to over deliver. So if you're looking for some template to help you follow up after your interview, as we've said, check the description below and you can download it for free. Yeah, we're good like that. But anyway, good luck. In the next series, we're going to be talking about job guide, how to get a job. Maybe you're on a bridging visa and you're struggling to actually get a job. You don't know how to frame it right. Click the video. I've documented my experience on the bridging visa, and I'll see you on the other side. Please leave your comment as well.
Good luck in your next interview.